Quasi here, and in this video I want to share with you the one thing that you need to know to help you become successful in 2021, and how this was the biggest lesson that I've learned in 2020, and how all of my clients and people I've met in other masterminds and other programs, those who've actually been successful, have adhered to this one thing. I want you to stick around to the very end of this video because this lesson was absolutely crucial for me, and it's very simple, I know, and it sounds very hypey, but it's just very applicable, and I'm going to show you how to apply it as well. So without further delay, let's really just get right to it. Now, before I begin this video, I want to preface this with a quote that is very, very relevant to this. In a world full of distractions, the person who can focus will inevitably become successful. Okay? If you look all around you right now, there's social media, there's the internet, every information is right at your fingertips. Anything that you want, it's one search away. Back in the day, you would have to go to the library and read books after book after book to find the information that you needed, right? So it was difficult to search it, but now it's one search away. So the speed of information is lightning fast now. This is also why so many people who are under 30s are becoming millionaires, right? Like if you look around you, a lot of the millionaires that are up and coming are made in YouTube, are made in social media, are made on Facebook. And this is because we're shifting to a different sort of society now, right? Everything is going online. And this online community, the new generation are thriving in it. So because of this overload of information, what happens is most people get lost in this. So there's a certain percentage of people that are becoming very, very successful. There's another certain percentage of people that are just getting deeper and deeper into depression, anxiety, and just other mental health disorders, right? And why is this happening? That's what I was wondering over, this New Year's Eve. And what I've seen is that the biggest distraction that people have nowadays, and it's something that I dealt with as well, it's essentially social media, right? If you look at social media, it literally wires you to do three things. The more you go on social media, the more you get distracted, it wires you for shorter term gratification. And finally, what it does is it kind of puts you in this shiny object trap and this comparison trap. So if I hold up two objects, right? If I were to hold up these two things right now, what do you immediately do? You immediately compare them, right? That's our natural reaction. If two things are side by side, your immediate reaction is to just compare them. So that basically means when you're going on social media, you're comparing yourself against other people. You're looking at the success other people have. You're looking at what they're wearing, what they're doing every single day, the lifestyles they're living. And it's making you compare yourself to them. And then you get frustrated, oh, why am I not doing this? I should be doing this and I should be doing that. Never before has it been to this extent. Right? Another thing that social media does is it kind of gets you into this shiny object syndrome. It's a result of this comparison. It's the same principle that makes you compare yourself to someone else. Because you look at all of these business opportunities, right? You look at all of the things people are doing and you're like, oh, I should be doing that. I should be trying that. And the final thing that it does is it wires you for shorter term gratifications. Every time you get a notification and you go on your phone, it kind of wires you to get more of that notification, more of that dopamine spike that you're getting from it. I actually made a video on this. If you click up here, you can check this out. But essentially, I learned this concept from an author named Cal Newport. He has a book called Deep Work. If you haven't read it, I urge you to read that. But essentially, he talks about how to fall into deep work and absolute focus. And the biggest enemy to that is those times of boredom where you just have nothing to do and the immediate thing that you do is go on your phone. You're standing online, you're waiting for something, and the first thing you do is check your phone. Immediately you check your phone. You can't even let that moment of boredom be there, right? So this behavior is making you more and more wired for those shorter term gratifying activities. The more you do things like that, the less likely you are, the less you wire yourself to fall into a state of deep focus. Okay? So those are the three biggest pitfalls of social media and the internet. Now, why I'm making this video is because what I've seen in my personal life all over 2020. To just give you a backstory, I've just yesterday realized that last year we did 1.3 million in cash for the whole of 2020. How I did that was not by, trying out a different thing, not going on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook and starting up brand new things, but actually just by focusing on one thing that does work for me, right? It's just by focusing on YouTube, which is where most of our clients come from, focusing on making videos and giving value and just doing what we've been doing, right? Like getting our clients results and just giving great service to our clients. So making the product and the program number one, and then giving value out for free on YouTube and on the Facebook group. That's really what I've been doing, just focusing on that one thing. And in the way, I've had so many distractions, right? So many things that come up. You're like, oh, someone's doing this strategy with Facebook, this organic marketing strategy and that. So this is what happens to most people. They get into this trap of, passive income. Let's try this and let's diversify out that. I don't have any passive income strategy. I don't invest in real estate. I don't do any of that. I just focus on the business. I keep it the main thing, right? So what I've also started to notice was most of the clients, we had this one client, he runs his e-commerce business. Before he started with us in the program, in the Reality Mastery program, he was negative $20,000 in debt, right? And he just messaged me in December. He's saying, Quasi, I made $200,000 this year just by putting my head down and focusing. And he was the least active on social media I've seen. He hasn't even posted in the group. He just messages me from time to time, sharing his progress. And it's just really inspiring to see where he's come just by putting his head down, focusing on doing what he needs to do and not getting distracted by comparing himself to others, looking at Instagram, looking at Facebook all the time and trying out the next shiny thing, right? He just set a goal, put his head down and got to work, right? So now I want to share with you really tools that have helped me focus. Like, how do you get to this state of focus? What are things that'll help you do that and cut out social media, cut out the internet so you can focus on that one thing? Okay, I want to share with you 3 keys to help you do this right now. So before I get to that, I want to add something onto shiny objects. How do you recognize something is a shiny object, right? Because it could be useful. And my principle that I've just realized I've been using this whole year is it's a distraction until proven useful. There's going to be lots of new social media apps that come out and you're going to be wondering, should I get on it? I can make money off it. I can do ads. I can do this and I can do that. Sure, if that's your goal to make short-term money, then you can go ahead and do it. But if your goal is much more longer term and you're looking at a longer term vision, and you can afford to think that longer term because maybe you have cash reserves, you're not worried about money, then it's time to take a different strategy. So you've got to understand, you've got to get clarity around your goals first before you go out and see what to do. Okay, so now let's get to the 3 keys. Key number 1 in getting to more focus, and what I've used in 2020 was, first of all, just limiting my usage of social media. If you work from your computer, if your business is based around the internet and on social media, it's going to be hard to do. I know this firsthand, but this is the number 1 thing that you can do. Limit your usage of social media. Notice how I said limit and not eliminate, because you can tell yourself you're going to eliminate it, but it's hard. Cutting it out completely, it's hard, especially if you have, again, your business on social media. So how you can limit it is you can set 2 to 3 times of the day when you're going to check it and engage in social media, right? Let's say, for me, what I do is before lunch and before ending the workday, I'll go on social media, on Facebook or Gmail for like 10, 20 minutes. That's it. After that, nothing, right? I don't even watch YouTube videos. I don't like to watch YouTube videos. I don't know, it's just, I like to make YouTube videos and give value, but I rarely ever watch other YouTube videos because I used to do that in the past and it just gave me a lot of anxiety and me comparing myself to someone else. Like, oh, this person's doing this and getting a lot of views. I should be doing that. And the more you compare yourself, the less it makes you organically you, okay? You can't get ideas of your own. You just become a copy of someone else. You get into this social media echo chamber. You hear an idea, you say an idea, and then someone hears your idea, says that idea, and it just propagates the same idea around without actual rational thought being happening, okay? That's number 1, limit usage of social media. Number 2, spend more time doing nothing rather than trying to fill up the void with every little activity. If you don't have anything to do, do nothing. Just sit there, be. Observe your thoughts. Seriously, it just sounds stupid, but it's so easy. The more you do this, the more you start to wire yourself for deeper work. the more you start to feel comfortable in nothingness. That's the number one quality you can have in such a distracted world, I'm telling you. Because if you keep trying to fill up the void, you're wiring yourself again to, oh no, gotta fill it up with something, gotta read a book or something, gotta, go on my phone or something, right? And finally, track yourself. This is arguably the most important thing if you want to improve an aspect of your life. If you go to the gym, you don't track yourself, you're never gonna gain. If you have a business and you don't track your revenues, you're never gonna make more money. If you want to improve at this aspect and get more and more focused, track yourself. Watch your screen time. iPhones and Androids even have an app now, a certain feature that maybe shows you how many hours a day you're on social media, how many hours a day you're on certain apps even. You can even check on your computer, right? So there's maybe other apps, but I'm not sure of it. I don't use it much because I know after a certain period, you kind of know how much you're using it and how bad it becomes. I have that self-awareness, but for those who don't, you have to start to use some app to just get a baseline for the first few weeks. And then after that, you can ditch that. That's not a permanent solution, right? And if I see that I'm using it too much, I'll again go off it. So I've also deleted every single social media app that I have, like Instagram, like Facebook, off my phone, and turned off all push notifications. And I found this to be immensely helpful. So I would urge you to do that as well. If you want me to make a follow-up video of tools and actual tools that I use on my computer, because I use a lot of extensions on Google Chrome, which blocks like news feeds and everything, and that's been super helpful for me. Okay, because I know if you go on the news feed, you're going to get distracted. So those were the three things that really helped me. And with that, I conclude this video. I want to keep this short. So I know this video was all over the place, but the key thing I want you to take away from this is focusing. In 2021, I want you to focus. If you want to become successful in this world of distractions, you've got to focus. Okay, and how you focus is by eliminating the biggest distraction, which is social media. Okay, this might be my opinion. Maybe you have other distractive things, but social media has been the single most distracting thing for me in 2020, and I saw how important it was for me to get rid of it, right? And use it rather than letting it use me, okay? And the three biggest problems with social media is it wires you for shorter-term gratification. You can't fall into deep work. Number two, it gets you into shiny object syndrome. Let's try this, let's try that, let's try the new thing. Number three, it gets you into the comparison trap. It makes you immediately compare yourself and size yourself up against someone else, when in reality, you're going your own journey, right? And the three things you can do right now is limit your usage of social media, consciously check 2 to 3 times a day max. Number two, spend more time doing nothing rather than trying to fill up every single void. And finally, track yourself. Okay, have something that you do to track yourself. Maybe you look at units of time. Last hour, how many times did I check social media? Last day, today, at the end of the day, how many hours did I check social media? And then you kind of keep like an Excel sheet or something for the first few weeks. And then you get an idea of how much you're doing it. Okay, so with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Leave me a comment if you like this, and if you're new to the channel, what kind of videos you'd like to see me make. And also, let me know if you want me to make that part 2. I'll do like a proper screen share and show you what kind of tools I use. Okay, so thanks for watching. Till next time. Peace.